Kidnapped by Robert Louis Stevenson. I set off upon my journey to the House of Shaws. What if your last name held a secret legacy? What if a single letter could rewrite your future? At 17, James Elders steps into a world he's never known, leaving behind everything, chasing a name, a house, a destiny. I set off upon my journey to the House of Elders. I will begin the story of my adventures with a certain morning early in the month of June, in the year of grace 1751, when I locked the door of my father's house for the last time and slipped the key into my pocket. The sun had just begun to glint along the ridges of the hills as I made my way down the road, and by the time I had reached the village green, the blackbirds were whistling among the lilac bushes, and the mists that had clung to the hollows at dawn were rising like ghosts and fading into the day. The Reverend Mr. Wallace, the minister of Elmridge, was waiting for me at the garden gate. God bless him. He asked if I had taken breakfast, and when I told him I lacked for nothing, he took my hand in both of his and held it close under his arm like a father would a son. "Well, James, my lad," said he, "I'll walk with you as far as the stone bridge, just to set you off on the right foot." And so we went, side by side, for a good while without speaking. "Do you feel sorry to leave Elmridge?" he asked after some time. "Well, sir," said I, "if I knew where I was bound or what might await me, I could tell you plain. Elmridge is a fine place, and I've been well enough there, but I've known no other place in the world. My father and mother being both dead, I shall be no nearer to them here than in any corner of the earth. And if there's a fair chance of making something of myself, I'll go with an honest heart." Said Mr. Wallace. "Then I suppose it's time I told you what I know of your fortune. When your mother passed and your father, God-fearing and honorable man, began to feel his end near, he gave me a letter and said, 'When I am gone and the house is set in order, place this in my son's hand and send him off to the House of Elders near Langmere. That's the land of my kin,' he said, 'and it's where my boy belongs. He's a steady lad, and the road won't defeat him. I trust he'll be welcomed and perhaps even find some good fortune there.'" "The House of Elders," I cried. "What had my father to do with such a house?" "Nay," said Mr. Wallace, "who can say for certain? But the name you bear, Elders, is the name of that house. It's an ancient, decent name, though it may have seen better days. Your father was a learned man, suited to his place, and no one ever taught the school with more grace or skill. And as you'll recall, I often had him to the manse, to meet with guests of quality, and not one found him wanting in sense or manners. Now, here is the letter your father left, addressed to Mr. Edward Elders of the House of Elders, by hand of my son James Elders." My heart beat fast at the grand idea that had suddenly been put before me, a boy of 17, son of a humble village schoolmaster, with a claim to some great house and name. "Mr. Wallace," I said hesitantly, "if you were in my place, would you go?" "Without doubt," said the minister. "A fine, quick lad like you should reach Langmere in 2 days. If things go poorly and your relations turn you out, you can always come back here and knock again at my door. But I believe you'll be treated rightly, and who knows what may come of it. Now, James, before we part, let me say a few words to prepare you for the world." We found a mossy stone under a birch tree, and there he sat, shielding his head with a handkerchief from the morning sun that broke through the leaves. With a grave and gentle air, he warned me of various sins and temptations, most of which I'd never so much as dreamed of, and urged me to keep to my prayers and my Bible. He then spoke of the House of Elders, and of how I must carry myself. "Be flexible, James, in things of no consequence," he said. "You may be of good blood, but you've had a country upbringing. Do not shame us. Walk with care and speak with thought. Mind your manners among the servants and the gentry alike. And remember, the master of the house is still the master. Give honor where it is due." "Well, sir," said I, "I'll do my best to behave well and learn what's needed." "That's rightly said," he replied with warmth. "And now, let's come to the little gifts we have for you." He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a bundle wrapped in a cloth. "There are 4 items here. First, a bit of money for your father's books and belongings, which I've taken upon myself to sell on. The rest are gifts from myself and Mrs. Wallace. The round one will please you now, but it won't last. The flat one will serve you your whole life, and the square one may help you into a better world yet." He rose, took off his hat, and offered a prayer for me, moving and tender words for a young soul setting out into life. Then he embraced me tightly, looked me over with tears in his eyes, and with a hurried "goodbye," turned back the way we'd come, walking quickly and never once looking behind him. It might have looked odd to someone else, but I couldn't laugh. I watched him until he was gone from sight, and only then did I feel the weight of the moment. I had felt joy at the thought of adventure, but now I saw clearly his sorrow, and my own ingratitude struck me like a blow. James, I thought, is this the way to repay kindness? Have you forgotten old friends for the promise of a name? And full of shame, I sat upon the stone he had left and opened the bundle. The cubical gift I'd guessed already. It was a small Bible fit to tuck in the corner of a plaid. The round one was a silver coin. The flat one, which he said would be my guide in sickness and health, was a piece of paper marked in red ink. "Take elderflowers and steep them in white wine. Drink a spoonful when needed. It restores speech to those struck by palsy, soothes gout, strengthens the heart and the memory. If placed in a glass and buried in an anthill for a month, the liquid drawn from the flowers can be kept in a vial and is good in health or illness for both men and women." In Mr. Wallace's own writing was added, "For sprains, rub it in. For the colic, take a large spoonful at the hour." I laughed then, but softly and with some feeling. I slung my bundle on my walking stick and crossed the old stone bridge, climbing the hill beyond. When I reached the high green road through the heather, I turned back once to see the rooftops of Elmridge, the trees round the manse, and the tall stones in the graveyard where my father and mother lay.